Hey everyone. Well, I wanted to give my final analysis of the cottonseed hull tech, as well as the updates to the lime pasteurized logs and the ash pasteurized logs, because I'm now switching everything over to doing supplemented sterilized sawdust blocks instead of pasteurized box substrate like I've been doing in the past with the cottonseed hulls and the straw. The reason being, well, there's actually multiple reasons, which of course, I'm going to make the video series on it. I explain to you them all. The biggest one, though, is I don't have to work in a cold, wet basement doing all this. I can make the bags, then put them down here, and then all I got to do down here is make sure it's clean and pick mushrooms. I'm also getting a new place. All this basement you see will be gone, and I will be in a much better location with much more room to work, higher ceilings. I'll have a video on it as well. But so far, here's my conclusion. As far as cottonseed hulls compared to straw, I like the cottonseed hulls because, well, one, you don't have to chop the straw. Well, you don't have to chop the cottonseed hulls. You have to chop the straw, which is a real pain in the butt, especially in the middle of winter when you have to do it outside. The straw is harder to clean up. It's dusty, it's itchy. That's just not fun. Cottonseed hulls is nice in that sense that it's cleaner and easier to work with, but on plain cottonseed hulls, I'm really only getting about upwards of 14 to 15 pounds untrimmed mushrooms per 2 bags per log, which is what I used to do with straw. For the same amount of plain straw, I'd only get about 12 pounds with 2 bags. But when I add the alfalfa to the straw, then I get all the way up to almost 20 pounds, as you've seen in previous videos, where the whole log is just engulfed, at least on one side, with mushrooms. And perhaps if I was able to incorporate the alfalfa with the cottonseed hulls, which I don't know, I haven't experimented with it because of all the too much water problems in it. Of course, now I got that fixed, and it might be actually a good idea just to do one batch with it just to see if it works, because I do have a couple extra bags of grain spawn, so I might do that. But alfalfa with the straw beats out plain cottonseed hulls, I can tell you that, which gives me some ideas with the sterilized sawdust blocks that maybe I can incorporate some alfalfa in with that to give it a boost. So I'll be experimenting with that in the future. As far as the lime logs compared to heat pasteurization, I think it's a great improvement. They really have about the same susceptibility to contamination as the heat pasteurization. As far as if it's too wet, you're going to get moldy spots here and there for the cottonseed hulls. Not so much a problem with straw and other substrates. But I've been doing the only 2 cups of lime per barrel. It works fine, and there's not a lot of sediment in the bottom. As well as I have 2 ash logs that I did with only a half a gallon of sifted ashes. And you can see they got pins all over. Probably put them into fruiting today or tomorrow. One problem with it, though, you can see the log on top got a bad spot and started squeezing out metabolite, but no visible mold yet. It actually dripped onto this pear on the bottom. So the bottom doesn't really have any problems, it's just got stuff dripped on it. So that tells me maybe you don't ever really want to do the ashes tech with the cottonseed hulls, just because they're too sensitive. But I say go for it with the straw. And heck, even tried it with the straw and alfalfa, see if you have success. Let me know if you do, and I will share your results with everyone. So, if I had the choice, I would, to pay somebody else to do it, I would do the straw and alfalfa, because then I don't have to do the junk work with it. But, I like these cottonseed hulls, and they've been doing well for me, and I'm glad I got a method of pressing them and making them work. So perhaps I might use the cottonseed hulls for outdoor projects, maybe like a little greenhouse with some pink oysters and blue oysters that I don't usually do. I can do those for farmers markets next year or something. We'll see. But I'm going to the supplemented sawdust blocks with wheat bran, some plaster, and the type of hardwood pellets you would use in a pellet stove for your house, because that's the only really good source of sawdust that I have. If you're in a area of the country where you can get free sawdust or really cheap sawdust, then you almost definitely want to do that method. Of course, you have to have more pressure cookers, but we'll get into that. So, you can see I have lots of good mushrooms growing. Haven't really had any problems on these well-pressed lime logs. I'm happy with how they're doing so far. And I'll see you in the near future. Alright, see you next time on Mushroom Adventures.